Okay, this is my You Will Ollie video where you must Ollie, okay? Gosh, it's so weird looking at yourself making videos. I think I can make you Ollie here without a shadow of a doubt, okay? Let me show you how. First, let's talk about pop, okay? That's all it is. You hit it, okay? And then, see that? You're letting it bounce. You're not just, that's one of the big problems people have. So people see it and they think they're supposed to go, and that's what they end up doing. And they're like, why? And that's the answer. The answer is, you gotta pop. Also, okay, I'm gonna go cover a ton of stuff. So, you also gotta lift as well. I see people doing that. They go, and they're keeping a ton of pressure. And like, yes, you can kind of do it like that, where you're keeping a ton of pressure on the board and you're barely lifting. But when you pop, keep, light pressure on the board. Like just, if you keep light pressure on the board, you keep your arm like light. Sorry, I'm so bad at words. Sometimes explaining things. But yeah, don't be so heavy-handed. A lot of people are really, and like, yes, you can do it heavy-handed. You can, but it's so hard. So why do it hard when you could do it easy? All right. So now we've covered. You got to pop it and let it go up. You got to bring your hand up. You got to keep it light. Okay. What are some other things that are going to help you Ollie? Okay. Move backward, then forward. Bam, bam. Whoops, that's a kickflip. Backward, then forward. Wow. Okay, let's cover another thing. Small Ollie, easier than big Ollie. Small Ollie is like, see? Pop, back, forward. Pop, back, forward, okay? Small Ollie. Another thing that can help, bring the board up more. If you're just barely popping it up and then moving forward, yes, you can Ollie. That's fine. But if you bring it up more, okay? Here's a super tip. Super tip, okay? When you're first starting to do your Ollies, instead of doing it how most people do it, okay? Like where you just keep your fingers just about like that, right? Take your fingers like this, okay? Overhang them a little bit to where when you Ollie, you see that? Just like that. That, I don't know why that works, actually. I don't know why, but it makes Ollieing, especially if you want to do a big monster Ollie, you know? World of difference. Okay. So this is the hand I don't Ollie with usually, right? See how it's not as good as with this hand, okay? Why am I showing you this? There is a reason, okay? The reason is that it's the thing people never want to hear. But the more practice, you have, the more practice you have, the easier it's going to be by a lot, by like a ton. Okay, let's also look at this. Okay, again, with the other hand now. See this? Again, like before, I said, you know, hard. Okay, it's harder with that hand. But if you notice, well, it's kind of hard to see, but basically, if you move a little bit forward each time, I think it's a lot easier to ollie than if you just try and stay in one position. Like, people, they might disagree with that, but I think it's like way easier to ollie as you're moving. I mean, for real, look at this. See how easy that is? Like when you're moving, I'm barely having to do any motion when I'm moving other than just popping and going upwards. Like, look. See that? I'm literally, all I'm doing is just popping and going upwards when I'm moving. Whereas when I'm standing still, you know, I've got to do a whole motion. Okay, now let's talk about the motion, right? Here's what your fingers are going to look like. Okay, they're going to go pop, whoosh, pop, pop, whoosh. That's all the motion is. Pop, whoosh, pop, whoosh, pop, whoosh. And if you just practice doing that over and over, even without a fingerboard, when you get to the fingerboard, see what I'm saying? All right. Another thing we're going to talk about. Very important. Probably most important. Okay. Check this out. I see some people doing this. Okay. Now, you can do tricks with you just the tips of your fingers. Okay. Like, see, there's a nice little kickflip. But doing an ollie with the tips of your fingers, just the tips, you can't tell because I've done thousands and thousands and thousands of ollies. But that is so, like, literally 10 times harder than if you just did flat. Keep your fingers flat. Do not try the tips of your fingers for ollies. I mean, some people like it. It looks cooler to them to do things with the tips of their fingers. And I like doing tricks with the tips of my fingers. But for ollies, because here's what happens. You do an ollie and you use the tips of your fingers. You're coming up, okay? And for whatever reason, it'll just kind of shift. And so whenever it starts to shift, you've got to, like, you know, counter shift in order to land it. And that's hard. When you're doing it flat-fingered, you're not getting any of that shift this way or that way. All right. In conclusion, that is really what's going to help you. All of those tips is all you're going to need, and I can practically guarantee that you can ollie. I would be shocked actually if you can't ollie after this video, because those are all the tips you really need. Well, no. I will say this. The better your board, the easier it's going to be. But that's something that can be... I mean, foam tape is going to make it easier. Bearings are going to make it easier. Bearing wheels. Even your trucks are going to make it easier. And your board shape. And if it's wood versus plastic, which that's a whole other scenario, but really on anything, you should be able to ollie now. Like, let me go grab a fork. This is a fork. It's nice. Plastic. Probably really bad for our body to be eating with these, but you can ollie with this. As stupid as it seems, you can ollie a fork. So remember, let's go over. I'll just go over the most important things real quick. Pop. Make sure it comes off a little bit. Go up in the air, okay? And then make sure you're moving so you can just go straight forward, okay? And the other tips are also obviously good as well. Make sure you're keeping your fingers flat. The other tips are actually really good. Those are my best tips. But really, all you gotta do, pop, get up in the air, move forward. And I'll do one more on the fork for you. Thank you for watching.